Carcassonne's 8th major expansion, Bridges, Castles, and Bazaars. Bridges. For a 2, 3, or 4 player game, give each player 3 bridges. For a 5 or 6 player game, give each player 2 bridges. Bridges are treated like roads and they are placed on tiles where fields are on both ends of the tile. So there would be no place to put a bridge on either of these tiles. You can place a bridge on a tile you just placed, or one touching the tile that you just placed. You can have multiple bridges in a row, but each tile can only have one bridge. And once placed, they remain there till the end of the game. And meeples can be placed on bridges just like roads. For endgame scoring, bridges do not separate fields, so all this is one large field. Castles. When a player completes a city consisting of 2 semicircular segments, this not being an example, that player may score 4 points as normal or place a castle placing their meeple on the castle. A castle is not completed until a feature in one of these 6 spaces is completed. Both meeples score full points. And if you had control of the neighboring city, you score twice. Even if the first completed feature is not claimed, you must still score for that. For monasteries, a castle is completed when the monastery itself is in one of the 6 spaces. So this is not a neighboring monastery, and neither is this. If more than one feature is completed at the same time, the owner of the castle will determine which one they will score for. Remember, when a feature next to a castle is completed, the castle is considered to be completed, and when a feature next to a castle is completed, that castle gets completed. At the end of the game, if there are any meeples left in castles, they simply get removed. No more points are gained by them. Castles still separate fields, so this and this are separate fields, and each castle is worth 4 points instead of 3 for the farmers. Bazaars. After placing a tile, placing a meeple, and scoring a bazaar tile, a bazaar auction happens before moving on to the next player. Start by drawing a number of tiles equal to the number of players. If there are more players than tiles, skip to the next player's turn. Otherwise, the player next to the player clockwise begins bidding. That player chooses a tile and decides how many points to bid, including 0. Each other player either increases the bid or passes. Then the current player must decide if they're going to buy the tile by giving that player the number of points they bid, or sell to the highest bidder by taking the number of points that they bid. If a player who chose the tile was the only one who placed a bid, they would still have to give up points, but no one gains points. And it is possible to have negative points when the auction is complete. Once a player has a tile, they may no longer bid. Play continues clockwise to the next player who has not yet taken a tile. Continue auctioning until the final player takes a tile for free. Next, starting clockwise from the current player, each player places their tile one by one. And you place a tile, place a meeple, and score just like normal. Once the auction is complete, play continues on from the current player. When revealing tiles for the auction, if one of them is a bazaar, this does not cause a chain reaction. Simply bid and place as normal.